Good afternoon, Cortland families and community members. I'm Bob Edwards, Superintendent of Schools. On Tuesday of this week, I delivered a difficult message to our staff about our anticipated budget challenges for the 2026-2027 school year. I cannot understate the challenges that are in front of us, and I think it's important for you to hear that very same message. One thing you'll hear in the message is about a feedback form, a Google feedback form. We will have a form coming out via Parent Square to all of our families in order to provide some feedback in our budget process. Please know that we're going to need all of you when it comes to our budget vote in May, and I anticipate quite a few future messages in the same regard. Thank you all for your attention to the message, and I'll let it play now. Good afternoon, staff. It is Tuesday, January 6th, and this video message is going to everybody this afternoon in faculty meetings, and for any staff that don't see it there, I'll email it out later this evening as well. In addition to this message, there'll be an email that's coming out at 3 p.m. That email will include a chart for some summary information and also links to a Google form. The Google form is meant for any of you to respond to ask any questions, to offer any feedback. And that Google form will be collected by and monitored through our business office, and also then used in our district guiding coalition as we continue to plan and process through January, February, and March. The message is a budget message. It's a difficult budget message, and I appreciate your attention to it. We've been working pretty hard at recognizing some of the realities that are in front of us for the 26-27 budget process, which really significantly gets underway here in January. We'll have updates when we have them, and we'll be continually communicating throughout January, February, March, and then the rest of the spring as we're moving toward our budget vote in May. As you might imagine, this is going to be a challenging budget season, and this message is specific for staff today, but I will have portions of this, and the bigger general message will go out to all of our school community on Friday. Throughout January, Cabinet will be meeting and will be planning, predicting and anticipating some of the word that we're hearing from our federal and state sources in terms of revenue and aid. And we'll also be planning on the expense side of the challenges that we know we have to address. So I'll read through the message, and then again, we're trying to deliver this all at the same time throughout the district. Any questions that you might have, please use the link in the Google form and provide your questions and or feedback. And as we go through the next few months, we'll keep you all in the loop. Over the winter break, our district guiding coalition met so that we could provide some outlook into our upcoming budget process. The team felt that a singular message made sense, and I agreed. We anticipate considerable challenges during our budget for the 26-27 school year. As you know, during our budget process last year, we recognized a sizable gap between expenses and revenue. It's a big expense revenue challenge. On the revenue side, we were one of less than 30 districts statewide who received less state aid than had previously been allocated. Under the state's revised foundation aid formula, while over 600 districts received more funding, we received less. At the same time, as costs of doing business continue to rise, we were forced into considering a number of difficult decisions last year. For a school district, once that expense revenue gap begins to grow, the options are limited. A district can reduce its expenses, a district can deplete its savings, a district can try to grow its revenue. That concern last year led us to ask our community for an override of the mandated New York tax levy limit. commonly understood to be 2%. Throughout last spring, we spoke about the increases in expenses that we expected and how our concerns about state aid made us aware that we would experience a budget shortfall during this school year. When that happens, a school district taps into its savings. To avoid that, districts occasionally ask their community to supersede the tax levy placed on school districts. We asked for 4.99%, which would have meant a total revenue of $57 million. In May, our voters turned down our hope of a tax levy override. Typically, when that happens, there are two courses of action. A district can cut its expenses. Most often, this means cutting staffing and impacting programs for students. Or a district can use its savings. Very often, this means depleting emergency funds. Throughout our process last year, we committed to avoiding cutting staff and impacting student programs. In May, we made the difficult decision to use $4.4 million of our savings. Unfortunately, in our scenario, the amount left in savings at this time would not allow us to take that course again. The first option will be our only choice should we need to go over the tax levy this coming year. And we want our community prepared for what that looks like. So we're beginning now to communicate what that may look like. It's also important for staff, all of us, to understand what that looks like. I would anticipate this year needing to go for an override again, but our Board of Education ultimately makes that decision. And even if an override is successful, we will still need to reduce expenses. This will impact our district from pre-K to 12. As you know, this is not a new problem in Cortland. In May 2023, we also asked for a tax levy override in order to increase revenue. Facing a significant budget gap that year, the board authorized a budget proposal for a 9.5% tax levy override. The district still would have had to use $1.3 million from savings. That initiative failed, resulting in us returning to a 1.89 tax levy. And in order to make the budget balance, we used over $1 million in savings and also had to impact staffing through reductions and to a few student programs. Throughout this past fall, our business office has been working on our anticipated revenue for the 26-27 school year. And whereas fluctuations both in federal and state indicators are difficult to know at this time, we know that our future will continue to be a challenge. This fall, we asked for an independent review of our fiscal picture. During January, a number of focus groups in the Board of Education will continue working on this problem. And I plan to update you all during the process in January, February, March, and beyond. If you have any specific suggestions or feedback or input, please use the Google form that will be in your email this afternoon, and use that as often as you would like. Those suggestions, those ideas will be compiled by our business office and be used throughout our focus group work for the remainder of the spring. I thank you all for your attention to this message and appreciate you all. Thank you.